Dwight Manfredi hasn't gotten a single break this whole season of Tulsa King, but he's about to be squeezed from several different directions at once. Jeremiah Dunmire ruined his launch, but clearly won't be satisfied until Dwight and Co. are destroyed. Quiet Ray lurches ever closer to Dwight's lucrative new operation, while Dwight's only ally, Bill Bevilacqua, is mysteriously in the wind. Surely it will cause tension with the KC mob that he's gone, and that his last known stop was at Dwight's. There's a lot to handle, and many forces in play for the hopeful bourbon profiteers, with no clear exit in sight. Episode 6 begins with a casual conversation between Dwight and his sister Joanne, where the former tells her that Bill Bevilacqua believes Dwight's been talking to the feds about him. Dwight finally tells somebody that the feds had contacted him about helping catch a really bad guy, and he admits, "If I don't do what they want me to do, everybody is going down hard, including you, because they know everything, every plan, every detail, they know it all." He says he has to finish the job before anyone's the wiser, and that they all have to keep moving forward against all odds. An awfully positive mindset for someone in a vice. Back at the distillery, it seems the cops buy that the inspector died from a simple accident. Bodhi is mad that he was tagged as the one to find the body, given that his good friend died recently in his arms. Cleo discovers that the authorities are still going to shut down the distillery until the cause of the accident is discovered. And after that conversation, Cole Dunmire drives by, looks menacing, and drives off. Cue opening credits.
Dwight turns to bootlegging in Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 6.
Back at their casino, Manfredi has a sit-down with the whole team. His goal, he says, is to get their momentum back while they wait to reopen. He's going to find a way to sell the 50 off-board, meaning selling to special clients who don't care so much about paperwork, Mitch adds. Essentially, they're bootlegging like gangsters did in the old days. Dwight's reached out to his old friendly contacts, and they're going to work on the distribution while Dwight uses the proceeds to secure national distribution. He sends Mitch and Cleo to meet his friend Johnny Wednesday in Shreveport. "I love our road trips," Mitch remarks. Goody sticks around to tell Dwight the Bevilacqua's missing following his meeting with Dwight. "Look, we got KC looking at us hard now, Dunmire's coming at us, and Quiet Ray's gonna hear about this," Goody says. "Shit could get very bad." Goody asks if things were tense between Dwight and Bill, but the former thinks it was New York. He gives Quiet Ray a call. Quiet Ray kicks up the phone and Dwight asks Ray how the weather is. "It's okay, but it could get cloudy," he says. "The sun needs to stay out," Dwight replies. Ray recommends a vacation at Bubbles. He has Tyson and Bigfoot packed for an overnight trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas. At Mitch's old car dealership, the team readies a pair of vehicles for bootlegging, and Bodhi comments that they now have transport and yet no booze. Shall we remedy that? At the shutdown distillery, Cleo and Mitch knock out the officers keeping the distillery locked up, and the team vacates with the boxed-up bourbon bottles.
Jeremiah wants Dwight dead in Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 6.
At the Dunmires, the Attorney General, who Jeremiah Dunmire disrespectfully calls Sackrider, claims that everything's going smoothly in their shutdown of Dwight's operation. "Dead inspector's not smooth as silk, Sackrider," Jeremiah says. The AG retorts that they managed to plant a GPS tracker on Dwight's car, which Jeremiah is pleased with. He stands up from his desk, yelling that he wants Dwight torn out like a fucking root. To the AG, Jeremiah adds, "Do you know that his brother, Joshua, served in Kandahar with distinction?" He points to a portrait of his fallen, clearly favored son, adding, "And this child has the temerity to step into my office wearing camouflage?" He sends the AG out with instructions to make the crackdown on Dwight permanent. Cole, clearly hurt from the disrespect, pays attention. "Do you want to make me proud?" Jeremiah says while half embracing Cole. "Then you gotta finish this once and for all, whatever it takes, by any means." Dwight's clearly not enjoying the long road trip, complaining about the distance and Tyson's music. Tyson reminds Dwight he can change the tunes, and they switch it over to the Doobie Brothers. Tyson calls it suicide music, and Dwight laughs. We're gonna miss you." Tyson asks what Quiet Ray's deal is. "They always want what you got," Dwight explains. "That's human nature. It's greed." Cole's people are monitoring Dwight's truck, and he tells them to stay close enough that if they get the chance to take him out, they could do it. Back on the road trip, Bodhi looks at Grace with friendly pride. They banter until Bodhi gets a call from one of Bill's people, asking if any of them have seen him. They note they'll let him know, but the pair know that Bill's disappearance is bad.
Tulsa King becomes How I Met Your Gangster in Season 3, Episode 6.
The next scene features Bill banging on the door of a locked room. "You can't keep me in here," he yells. "Let me the fuck out!" On the outside, Special Agent Musso stands by the door, looking a little worried. Meanwhile, Mitch tells Cleo he thinks everything's salvageable. He explains his backstory. Penniless after his prison stint, he borrowed some of his dad's pension to start his bar before Manfredi walked in. "We had this real meets real kind of moment, you know? I just knew that man. I don't know why, but I trusted him." "That's rare," Cleo says. Lo and behold, in 3 small steps, Mitch continues, he turned Bread the Buck from a dive bar into a full-fledged fucking casino. He put a crew together, a bunch of people I never would have known, never would have met, not in a million years. And somehow, Cleo, it worked, and it's still working. Then they hear a police siren. They're getting pulled over. Dwight notices a truck following him and calls Bigfoot, who notices, and they don't know he's there. Dwight and Tyson pull into a gas station to pick up a beverage for Bigfoot, and Cole's stooges follow immediately into the station with Bigfoot behind them. While Dwight and Tyson make the purchase, we can see Bigfoot knocking out Cole's stooges with ease. With Mitch and Cleo, the officer who pulled them over wants their license and registration, and menacingly asks both Mitch and Cleo to exit the car. Staring them down with a perverse grin, the cop tells them, "Cole Dunmire asked me to say hello." Cole calls Jeremiah to explain that his people have Mitch and Cleo, and that they've been bootlegging the 50 across state lines. Jeremiah makes it clear he only cares about stopping Dwight. "You need to find Manfredi and end him." Elsewhere, Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson show up at a hotel under an assumed name. Tyson asks how Dwight's feeling about the upcoming meeting with Quiet Ray. Dwight says that it depends on how much Quiet Ray is going to lie. Is the truth going to slip in there by accident? Tyson says that Ray looks weak, but Dwight tutors Tyson on the difference between how someone looks and is, noting most of Quiet Ray's enemies quietly end up in cement. Back with Mitch and Cleo, handcuffed together, the corrupt officer opens the trunk to see the 50. "This looks like contraband. You got a license to sell?" Mitch tells him to look for guns in the trunk, knocking him out when he's distracted. They disable his bike and radio and take off.
Armand is found in Tulsa King, Season 3, Episode 6.
As Grace and Bodhi drive to their destination, the latter gets confirmation that they aren't being tailed over the CB radio. Grace notes that it's odd that the KC mob called them about Bevilacqua's disappearance, and it must be worse than everyone is letting on. "I have a bad feeling," she says. As for Bodhi, "I've had a bad feeling since I met Dwight, but he makes money and we make money." It turns out that going legitimate was the only thing Bodhi needed to have confidence in Dwight. Mitch and Cleo pull into a Pentecostal church to find an unassuming man who swears he can get their product in the proper hands. Quiet Ray pulls into the hotel, and Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson head to the meet. Both Dwight and Quiet Ray wait a minute to avoid being the first one there. They exchange superficial niceties. Dwight scoffs when he sees Vince present, but Quiet Ray says he's a changed man. Dwight paraphrases Confucius, "The wisest of men and the stupidest of men never change." After some banter, Cole walks in unseen. Quiet Ray explains he wants a share of the booze thing and quotes 80%. Dwight blames him for Bevilacqua's disappearance. "You take and you take like a fucking animal," Dwight says, before Cole starts to move towards the gangsters. Dwight doubles down on blaming Quiet Ray, who seems deeply upset at the implication, and Cole and his companion fire at Dwight and Quiet Ray while the gangsters fire back. No one's hit. Cole and Co. leave, but Quiet Ray departs convinced that Dwight tried to have him killed. Back with Mitch and Cleo, the pair sit and have coffee quietly together, while she sadly suggests she might leave this life behind. Back at the casino, the cops are turning the empty business over with only Goody at the helm. On the phone, he tells Dwight, they found Armand, hung himself in some flop house, bottles everywhere. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know. Dwight calls Quiet Ray, who doesn't take the call and looks into the camera with an evil grin. The episode leaves many questions about what comes next, not least of which is why Cole's such a bad assassin. What's Musso's deal? Why capture Dwight's partner when Dwight has been playing along with capturing the bomb maker? Hopefully we get answers soon.